You can add Anthony Scaramucci's Skybridge Capital to those looking to hit it big in Bitcoin. Skybridge launching a new fund tailored to the cryptocurrency. Anthony joining us now. It's good to see you. Welcome back.
Hi, it's great to be back, Scott. Thanks for putting my high school picture up before the commercial break. I appreciate it. My family appreciates it.
Your hair was a little big, but we won't go there for right now. We'll talk about that some other time. Why Bitcoin? I mean, is it obvious? It's just on fire lately, so why not?
Well, I think it caught fire. Listen, we would have loved to have deployed the fund 3 or 4 months ago. I think it caught fire, but we're still in very, very early innings, Scott. And over the last 2 years of doing research on Bitcoin, getting comfortable with Bitcoin, of course, doing a ton of SALT talks with people like Michael Saylor, it became clear to us that we needed to create a client-friendly product, something with a $50,000 minimum that the mass affluent could access, or RIAs that we're close to could access. And it's a cheaper offering than the rest. It's 75 basis points. It's in an LP structure, which makes it easier for RIAs. And until, frankly, there's an ETF or there's a customer account somewhere where people can hold Bitcoin, this will be a way for us to democratize Bitcoin like we did the hedge fund industry a decade ago. So 4 months in the making, Scott. It started trading today with $25 million of the firm's capital. We're going to go live on January 4th for outside investors. And we're super excited. And you either have to accept that Bitcoin is a store of value or not. There are still skeptics out there. And that's why I think we're in the first inning. But after doing the research that we've done, we believe it is. And given the monetary supply and the global central banking coordination right now, this will be a very strong asset class over the next decade.
And you don't feel, I mean, I know you said you wish you would have done it 4 months earlier. You don't feel like this is a little late, right? I mean, you know, I'm sure there's somebody out there who's watching this and says, okay, you know, now that Skybridge is launching this, or anybody launching it now, maybe that's the top, that it's a little late after it's rallied as far as it's come.
Or we could be at the precursor of an avalanche of institutional investors heading in, not wanting to put it on their balance sheets in 2020, but orders indicating and orders building up from a large swath of institutions for the first quarter of 2021. I think that's the more likely scenario. But listen, this is something that has crashed upwards in the last 2.5 to 3 weeks. Not to say that there won't be volatility. We have a 3-month holding period on this. We're really trying to target our investors to think about this long term. Don't trade it. There's an expression called HODL. Most people in the Bitcoin community know what that means. It just basically means buy and hold it. This is an asset that could go up 2 or 3x from here, in our opinion. And if you look at Bitcoin over the last decade, Scott, you could put a 1 penny in Bitcoin, 99 cents in cash. It would have beaten every other asset class, specifically the S&P 500. So for us, I don't think it's late. If anything, it's the first inning. You're about to see that wave of early adoption by the institutional community. I'd like to get our investors involved before that goes into full.
Let me ask you about Bitcoin.
Okay.
Bitcoin, people say the same thing. It's a store of value. You've got to have it diversified. The dollar's not safe. It's been going up and up and up, yet recently it crashed. Jamie Dimon came out and said it's a complete fraud. He'd fire anybody at JP Morgan who invested in it because he wouldn't want people that stupid working for him. What do you think?
There are two purposes of a currency. Is it a medium of exchange? And is it a storehold of wealth? Those are the basic ingredients. Bitcoin is not an effective medium of exchange by and large. If I have a Bitcoin, I want to go buy things. It's not easy to buy things with the Bitcoin. And in terms of a storehold of wealth more reflects, like gold, more reflects the opposite of what money is doing, right? And so you look at it, it's a storehold of wealth. Bitcoin is a speculative, it's a speculative bubble, right? Its price is like a greater fool theory in terms of its price. If you say, what is its intrinsic value? If Bitcoin was made into a more effective medium of exchange and also operated in terms of a storehold of wealth, not of the reflection of that volatility, it would be a viable instrument. It is, to me, a vehicle for speculation that's attracting people in, and it has all the classic ingredients of a bubble. People are leveraging themselves up, and it doesn't have that same intrinsic value. Even the privacy value, okay, is suspicious. In other words, it has a purpose to some extent. If you're living in a country and you don't know your currency, whether it's going to be good or not, and you might try to hold that. But that thing you're holding is running around like crazy for reasons that you don't understand. And then, so it's not going to be an effective storeholder wealth. And the privacy will be stress tested. In other words, governments are examining who is operating in their own clever ways of what that, and so you can't even assume that so it's going to be a privacy vehicle. So I don't see the effectiveness of Bitcoin. I could see cyber currencies and so on, but cryptocurrencies. But this is not what we're having. It's a possibility that I think has been captured as a speculative vehicle that's in the middle of a bubble.